The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup will see the best footballers on the planet do battle. Can European champions England live up to the hype? While Alexia Putellas is pivotal to Spain's World Cup hopes. Immerse yourself in the biggest sporting event of the year with the Contenders. Women's football is on the rise, and the game's growth has been evident during recent major tournaments. A record crowd of over 87,000 flocked to Wembley to see England beat Germany in the Euro 2022 final, the largest attendance at either a men's or women's European Championship match. It brought the tournament's total attendance to well over 500,000, more than double the previous record set in 2017. Not only was it a watershed moment for England's triumphant Lionesses, but for women's football as a whole.
I think women's football right now is the sport for women in the world. I mean, you see everywhere, you're seeing sold-out stadiums, you're seeing young girls picking up soccer balls, you're seeing women have careers in football, you're seeing sponsors get on board. So I think it's just, again, I think it's just a matter of time.
The United States have long been the benchmark of women's football, winning a record 4 World Cups, including back-to-back titles in 2015 and 2019. The US are also leaders off the pitch, striking a landmark deal that will see their men's and women's national teams receive equal pay after a lengthy fight for financial parity. But while they are still the world's #1 team, the sleeping giants of women's football in Europe have finally awoken. Some of Europe's biggest clubs are now operating highly successful and well-funded women's teams, with some of the world's best players signing for top clubs in Spain, England, France, and Germany. Since the Women's Ballon d'Or was introduced in 2018, 3 of the 4 winners have come from Europe, with Spaniard Alexia Putellas becoming the first 2-time recipient of the award. Australia captain Sam Kerr is another high-profile female player to have taken her talents abroad, becoming one of the stars of the Women's Super League with English powerhouse Chelsea.
I think you got to put it down to the players. The quality has jumped so much. Even in the last year, the way the athletes now are working, the level they're working at, it's incredible. I know the training I did back then compared to what I do now, it's night and day, and I think the athletes have really transformed into top professional athletes, and I think that's what makes the game so marketable right now, is that these athletes are incredible, and there's so many of them. There's not 1 or 2 maybe like there used to be from America or something like that. There's so many top female athletes and so many top female leagues, which is incredible to see.
Kerr's marketability saw her feature on the cover of the global edition of FIFA 23, the first female footballer to ever appear on the front of the popular video game.
Of course, it's amazing to be on the cover of FIFA, but I just want this to be the norm. Like, my dream would be that, this is just a normal day, a normal news day, that there's 2 cover stars and one's a male and one's a female. Hopefully one day we can have 2 females up there.
Kerr will be the face of the 2023 Women's World Cup, hosted in her home country of Australia as well as New Zealand. The last Women's World Cup in 2019 attracted more than 1.1 million people to matches and 1.2 billion viewers worldwide. Those crowd and viewership numbers are expected to rise for the first expanded 32-team tournament.
Yeah, I think Australia is a sporting nation. So we're really going to embrace the women's game and hopefully take it to new heights. I think after France in 2019, the game's elevated so much. So hopefully Australia can really promote what the women's game is about. And I might be biased, but I think we have one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So hopefully everyone enjoys it just as much as we're going to enjoy playing at home in front of packed stadiums.
All eyes of the football world will be on Australia and New Zealand when the women's game takes centre stage in 2023. Up next, European champions England are gunning for Women's World Cup glory. Women's football in England is riding a wave of momentum after the Lionesses reigned supreme at Euro 2022 on home soil. The tournament was a significant moment for the women's game, with record crowds flocking to see England's star-studded team make history by becoming European champions for the first time. Their success at the Euros is already inspiring the country's next generation of female footballers and delighting those who have gone before them.
I was in tears when they won that cup. I really was, yeah. It felt like we have come home, the cup has come home, and women's football's come home. And my granddaughter started playing thanks to them. She played with the boys and that, but now she wants to do it. She's seen those girls, so what an inspiration they are. Yeah, absolutely wonderful.
After breaking the nation's 56-year trophy drought, England's attention has turned to the 2023 Women's World Cup, earmarked as one of the favourites to lift the trophy. And the Lionesses aren't content with just European silverware in the cabinet. They are hungry for more.
On top of the world, on top of Europe. Yeah, another trophy, but the best one by far. But there's still one more that we can still get our hands on next year.
England barely raised a sweat in qualifying for the tournament, topping their group with 10 wins from 10 games, scoring a whopping 80 goals without conceding. Boasting one of the world's strongest squads, the European champions are best equipped to break the USA's World Cup dominance.
I absolutely believe that. I mean, they're incredible squad. They showed once again that they're very good. That if you give them a little space, they have players that can make a difference. And they have incredible coach who I think has done a very good job ever since she came here. And I wouldn't mind facing them in the final again.
You're the best team in the world when you have won the World Cup. We didn't. I think we're in a very good place, and as I say all the time, it's so close. There's so many good countries, and it's really tight too. So you don't know ahead if you're going to win a game. We've done really well, and we're in a very good place.
England defeated the US 2-1 in a friendly at Wembley in front of over 76,000 fans last October. It was their first win over the world champion since 2017, which extended their unbeaten run to 23 games.
We can take lots of things from this, and we don't win a World Cup now, but it's really good to have this moment and this game in this environment with all the people around and cheering for us to have this moment to prepare for the World Cup next year.
England could meet the US in the 2023 Women's World Cup final in Sydney, but first they'll have to navigate their way out of a tricky group containing Denmark and China. Since her appointment as England coach in 2021, Sarina Wiegman has used 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1 formations, opting for the latter during Euro 2022. Most of the squad ply their trade in the Women's Super League, including captain Leah Williamson and attacking midfielder Fran Kirby. Mary Earps was England's #1 goalkeeper at Euro 2022, keeping 4 clean sheets to be named in the team of the tournament. Leah Williamson and Millie Bright have established a rock-solid partnership at the heart of England's defence. Entrusted with wearing the captain's armband, Williamson leads by example. Lucy Bronze is one of the best right-backs in the women's game, who sealed a move to Spanish giants Barcelona from Manchester City. Rachel Daly has been predominantly used at left-back, but her versatility allows her to play in a multitude of positions, even as a striker. England's midfield pivot of Georgia Stanway and Keira Walsh has been key to their success. The pair had outstanding tournaments at the Euros, with Walsh joining Barcelona for a world record fee in women's football. The former Man City teammates get through a power of work in midfield, which allows chief creator Fran Kirby to flourish in the final third. The star of Euro 2022 was undoubtedly Beth Mead, scoring an equal tournament-high 6 goals to win the Golden Boot. But she's no certainty to play at the 2023 Women's World Cup. England are sweating over Mead's fitness after the Arsenal forward ruptured her ACL in November 2022. Ellen White's retirement has opened the door for Alessia Russo to become a permanent starter after scoring 4 goals as a substitute at Euro 2022. Chloe Kelly is another excellent attacking option, writing her name into English football folklore by scoring the winning goal in the final against Germany. England are yet to win a Women's World Cup, but they've never been better placed to become world champions for the first time. Up next, Alexia Putellas holds the key to Spain's World Cup hopes. Alexia Putellas' record-breaking career hit new heights in 2022, achieving a feat that underlined her status as the best women's player on the planet. The Spanish star became the first woman to win the Ballon d'Or on 2 occasions, when taking out the 2022 award ahead of England's Beth Mead and Australia's Sam Kerr. She scored 42 goals and delivered 22 assists across all competitions to be crowned the first back-to-back female winner of football's highest individual honor. Putellas captained Barcelona to a domestic treble during the 2021-22 campaign, scoring 18 goals and providing 15 assists in the league to help her side achieve a perfect 30-win season.
Bueno, sin duda, se me olvidó decirlo en el speech, pero realmente ellos son los que han hecho sacrificios.
Yes, without doubt. It's amazing to win this trophy, but it took a lot of sacrifices to be here. Every day is a bit of a fight to get better. I have the passion for my sport, but it did take a lot of sacrifices to win it. And the family was always there to help me out.
Toda mi familia, pues, cuando eres pequeño que te llevan a entrenar todos los días.
A technically gifted attacking midfielder, Putellas is a major creative outlet for club and country, scoring and assisting goals at a prolific rate. She is a joy to watch with the ball at her feet. Her brilliance has made Barcelona a force in women's club football, helping the Spanish Giants to a maiden Champions League title in 2021. A then world record crowd of more than 91,000 saw the Catalans thrash Real Madrid 5-2 at Camp Nou the following season, with Putellas scoring in a virtuoso performance.
Without a doubt, it has been one of the best days of my life. We made history. We keep making history, and we want to keep making history.
While it's been an amazing couple of years for Putellas, a serious knee injury curtailed her 2022 season. The Spanish captain suffered a torn anterior cruciate ligament in training on the eve of Euro 2022, which ruled her out of the tournament.
Well, for sure, it is very sad news for everyone, and especially for her, because she is the one that has to go through it, to live these tough months. These are difficult moments. We can't hide how important Alexia is for this team, for Spanish female football, for our club, for the national team. She is a leader. She is a pillar. It's an important absence, but unfortunately these things happen in football.
Without Putellas, Spain were eliminated at the quarter-final stage by eventual champions England after finishing second in their group. And with the 2023 Women's World Cup fast approaching, Putellas holds the key to her country's hopes of lifting the trophy for the first time. Arguably Spain's most important player, Putellas became the first Spanish woman to make 100 international appearances, making her La Roja's most capped female footballer. Putellas has competed on football's biggest stage twice, helping Spain qualify for the round of 16 of the 2019 Women's World Cup, their best ever finish at the finals. And the reigning Ballon d'Or winner will look to inspire Spain once again when they open their 2023 Women's World Cup campaign against Costa Rica in Wellington on July 21.
Alexia Putellas has come through an ACL injury, and it will affect her World Cup, but not in the way you think. Certainly the fact that having an ACL injury does impact you for the year or so that you're out, but in terms of driving you and motivating you, it will put you in good stead for a major tournament. It's really one of those things about an ACL injury that you're stripped of everything that you love. And, you know, once you work through all the nitty-gritty issues that you have with an ACL, you really do come back bigger and better. I think everyone understands an ACL injury is quite hard to get through, but the perception of it is quite daunting for those that haven't gone through the process. When you speak to someone like myself that's gone through an ACL injury, you understand that what's been taken away is quite immense, and there are very, very low points and difficult times. But in terms of what it gives you, it far outweighs what it takes away. You know, you learn about yourself, about your resilience, about your strength, what you can endure as a footballer, as a person, and it really humbles you. It really sets your feet reliably along the ground. You know, you can't really rise up without going through centimetres of gains. Everyone thinks about from when you do the ACL to when you come back, but it's those incremental little pieces of strength that you work through day in, day out that makes you a better footballer when you come out. I do think the ACL increase in a lot of players have come from more professional games. You just look across all the European leagues and we see an immense load for these players. Champions League, plus all the tournaments, qualifying tournaments for European Championships, World Cups, Olympics, all these things do come to the fore when you start to think about it. But also the level of capability of a lot of the players. They're quicker, they're faster, the ball speed, and very few ACLs happen in contact. Mine was in contact, so it can happen, but usually it's a player with a change of direction, perhaps false footing or slippery ground. Some of those things can happen, but a majority of the time it's that load and and fatigue sometimes does set in after that amount of games. I feel like the amount of games that players are playing doesn't really equate to the amount of resources being put in to female anatomy, strength work, conditioning. I feel like a lot of the top clubs are able to have an ACL injury and bring their players back quite considerably, but the lower clubs don't really put as much emphasis on those players. They kind of understand that it's part of the game, but they don't really look after them that well. I feel like the amount of research has been there, but certainly not to the extent that a male problem would have a light shone upon it. I feel like the answers are not there, and I actually just feel like the resources have not been put into the strength and conditioning. A lot of men grow up, go to the gym, it's quite natural for them. A lot of females have been taught that you don't want to be chunky, you don't want to be slow, so then they opt out of gym. You know, a lot of times, you know, how many players I've spoken to and they don't believe in a gym program. And then you see all the ones that love gym are the ones that have gotten injured and have seen the benefits, such as myself.
Still to come, we look back at the 2019 Women's World Cup. Australia and New Zealand follow in the footsteps of France, who hosted a hugely successful Women's World Cup in 2019. The tournament was another leap forward for the status of women's international football, attracting a global audience of over 1 billion people. While over 1 million fans passed through the turnstiles during the month-long event, averaging out at almost 22,000 per match.
This Women's World Cup in France has been phenomenal, has been incredible, has been emotional, has been passionate, has been fantastic, has been great, has been the best Women's World Cup ever. Based on the success of this World Cup, of course, we have to believe bigger and to do what we should have done already probably some time ago, but now we have the evidence to do it for women's football.
On field, 7 of the 8 quarter-finalists came from Europe, a group led by eventual runners-up, the Netherlands, who blossomed into the surprise packet of the tournament. But in front of 58,000 fans in Lyon, the youthful Dutch were outgunned by the imperious USA, who secured their 7th successive victory to lift their 2nd World Cup trophy in a row and their 4th in 8 editions. By the final whistle, the tournament had become the Megan Rapinoe show, with the US superstar scoring the opening goal in the final and walking away with both the Golden Boot and Golden Ball for the World Cup's best player and leading goal scorer. The winning captain led the celebrations when her triumphant side was cheered through the streets of New York with a ticker-tape parade.
This is my charge to everybody. Do what you can. Do what you have to do. Step outside yourself. Be more, be better, be bigger than you've ever been before.
Can anybody deny the all-conquering US a three-peat down under? Stay tuned to the Contenders.